Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
Now.
And good evening. Welcome to the S-4 Bunker, coming to you live as we're laughing. Live here in the hot as shit mountains here in the Cascades in Concrete, Washington. I got that all kind of.
Yeah, that was
even sure.
It's okay. I'm hot. It's fucking hot.
Conceded too.
Are we in hell?
We might be.
We're in hell. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Not even close.
You got the marshmallows?
Friend,
I don't know. I've met some of your neighbors. We might be.
Oh, so don't forget.
before we start,
What?
friend, I got a young man who plays football with my boys who could use everyone's thoughts and prayers and healing thoughts. His name's James Murray. He's a good young man, and right now he is sitting in Children's Hospital.
Oh, sweet.
So he really needs everyone's to send him healing thoughts. Okay, guys? Friend?
You got it. His name is James?
Yeah, James Murray.
James Murray. Okay.
Write that down.
And don't forget to, I'm trying to shift gears here. Oh, don't forget, go check out our sponsor at www.reaperapparelco.com and use S4 Bunker on your checkout code.
Absolutely.
And don't want to forget, our condolences go to Dave Scott and his family. They lost his mom.
Yes.
Oh, that's hard to hear.
Yes.
Sorry to hear
Deepest
that.
condolences and send lots of love and prayers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what happens when you lose your Facebook account and don't see any kind of news.
Well, maybe don't get hacked.
Yeah, no shit. I got hacked and
A
hijacked.
lot of people are. They're getting hacked where they're getting 50. Send us $50, send us $100, send us $200 to get your account back, and it's like, what the F?
Okay.
Well, maybe if
that's
like
a
one of
ransom.
my friends named Eric, they didn't add every fucking person that gave him a friend request, it would goddamn help.
I thought there were 5,000.
If you can't pronounce their name, don't add them, Eric.
I didn't.
If the internet was
They're getting smart.
yeah, do not add.
They're getting
The other
smart.
thing
They're using
is
Bill.
that they're cloning. They're also cloning accounts, so they're making it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're not just they're not just hacking accounts. They're actually cloning accounts. I've had my account cloned, and then 6 months after it was, and Facebook didn't do shit.
Oh,
and
Facebook!
6 months,
Facebook shut my shit down quick.
Oh, they didn't do anything
I
for mine.
well,
On a cloned, and everybody complained. I mean, everybody that there were about 20 people that bitched about it.
yeah.
Facebook didn't do anything except come back and say it's not a cloned account, it's not this. They had my face on it, they had my name on it, the whole kit and caboodle, and then 5 to 6 months later, the guy showed his face, put a picture of himself with my name up there.
Sure.
And then he eventually changed the name, and I was like, you asshole.
Oh.
So yeah,
that was you?
they do weird stuff.
Oh.
Kayla's the Facebook hacker.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's better than the Facebook serial killer.
You know what?
That was Craigslist.
I'm totally not either. Thank you.
She's the Craigslist killer.
Shut up!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh my god, that was supposed to stay between us.
Oh, so tonight we are talking supernatural artifacts, historical.
Historical or supernatural? Or supernaturally historical?
Yeah.
Or historical
Artifact,
with
very cool.
supernatural powers.
What about
You know, and we say that, and my mind automatically goes to Warehouse 13.
what about supernaturally hysterectical?
Hysterectical?
Yeah,
Oh man.
the fallopian tube of the pharaoh.
Oh, God.
They got a tube in common.
They are the fallopian tubes from Joan of Arc.
It's electrifying.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's where she held her power.
Probably not.
Har, har, har.
Yeah.
And the librarian. The librarian's also kind of supernatural artifacty.
13
Okay.
Warehouse.
Warehouse 13.
Warehouse
and
13.
Librarian.
The librarians.
Oh, Cal, really? You're gonna skip over him completely?
Who?
Indy?
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck off!
He's got a new one.
Which is why I came up with the topic
Or what?
last week.
Ed and
Because of
Lorraine
the
Warren.
Child of Destiny.
Yeah.
That's not. No, those are. Yeah, no. I don't count
I
them.
couldn't believe it when I realized how long it's been since I've watched Raiders.
He's a liar.
That was what, 80s, right?
Huh?
Did that come out in the 80s?
1980.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
80, yeah.
I was 9. Well, no, I'd been 8, I think, the last time I saw it.
I was 11.
Yeah,
I usually get to it about once a year. Now I've gotten to the point where I'm kind of ADD, so I skip through the boring parts because I know.
Okay, if you want to bring him up, what about Lara Croft, Tomb Raider?
I love Laura Croft Tomb Raider. Did you know there's a traveling museum of paranormal and occult? I didn't. Holy crap.
Nikki, I gotta ask.
Yes.
Do you love her, like, from the movies or from the original video game where she was just a stick figure with boobs?
Never played the video games. Didn't have the money for.
Wait.
games and stuff.
You didn't have fucking Atari?
Marvelous.
There was no
Didn't have
Laura.
any-
There was no fucking Laura Croft on Atari. Jesus
No,
Christ.
I played ping pong on Atari. With the little
look, there
bars
was,
that go boing, bring.
There was some kind of Tomb. It wasn't Tomb Raider. There was an Atari game that was
Pitfall.
Pitfall. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That was a precursor to Lara Croft.
Mm-hmm. There was also an Indiana Jones game.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yep.
But
Remember that.
there is the final Indiana Jones has a new one. The final one is coming out.
Who says it's the final one?
Oh,
This is
no,
Disney.
no, no.
They'll
You
continue
know there's
making
gonna be
them 5
another
years after he dies.
Because he's getting too fucking old.
Yeah.
Disney doesn't care. They have a
No,
contract.
they got the CGI now.
And if he dies, just
Until
CGI's.
Yeah.
Jeez. And
They
if
can
it
make-
doesn't
they can remake
end up working out, then they'll make it a prequel and just put somebody else's indie.
Well, okay, now here's the thing that I just came across is that the CIA and Hollywood have done masks together. And I've been doing a little bit of hunting and searching into this in the last, off and on for the last week or so. And I'm really surprised by what I've been finding and reading and who's actually been talking about it. Retired CIA
What?
heads. I can't think of this one woman, I can't think of what her name is or what,
Pelosi.
but she was the head of a department head, and she openly talked about it. It's a TEDx talk. Go look it up.
Oh shit! Okay, I love TEDx.
On masks?
On masks.
Like face-off
MAS.
style?
Yeah, MASKS. masks, facial masks, and it's really easy for Hollywood to create a mask now to cover somebody's all the way down to their chest.
Yeah.
Put clothing over them if they're the same body style as, say, the guy who plays in the Harrison Ford. They could make a Harrison Ford look-alike based on a mask.
Well, they've been doing that for years.
But it's getting more elaborate.
But the rendering they're doing now in the real world application, if you're out in the field, then for movies, they can do
all sorts of
the aging
things.
process. They can just go ahead and
Well, I mean, they've been doing silicone masking for 30 plus years now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Saddam Hussein
unbelievable.
Saddam Hussein had like 30 lookalikes that all had surgery to make them all look like.
I mean, think about like the old school what are they called? Like sci-fi movies, like Enemy Mine and stuff like that.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, that actually for its day was a pretty damn realistic mask.
Yeah.
Yes, let's fight the chocolate Easter eggs.
Excuse me?
That's what the reptilian Lewis Gossett Jr. looked like.
So, if we actually have supernatural artifacts, where do you think they're housed? Do you think we have our own closed warehouse 13?
The Vatican, bro.
Well, the Vatican's one.
But the Vatican only has one of the ones of their own.
Yeah, they don't have like
anything from Islam or from Buddhism. They don't keep that kind of stuff. They refuse to.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe underneath the Smithsonian?
No.
That's too on the fucking button.
Yeah.
I'd have to figure it's going to be...
Things are removed from the Smithsonian. So if they're removed from the Smithsonian, removed from other major locations across the United States, in Canada, in other countries, where the hell does it go?
Okay, to be perfectly honest...
It makes sense that there's actually some kind of location where all that's kept.
If they do have an area, none of us have ever fucking heard of it. It's going to be in the middle of godforsaken nowhere where we don't even think there's a possibility for something there. Honestly. No.
There's too much chance of a human walking by there.
No, I mean, it's going to be nowhere.
Why couldn't it be under the sea?
A
great big facility. Now this is me. This is nothing psychic. This is not anything. This is just me talking about.
Wait, this is Nikki's opinion.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Though.
This is an opinion. Yeah.
Under the sea, in parts of Antarctica where there's only like 2 or 3 people that have ever touched it.
Well, maybe that's
we're talking about areas that nobody is coming across.
No.
And if they do, then they're a missing fucking hiker.
They've explained.
Okay.
Okay.
The Bermuda Triangle has been explained. Yeah.
What is it?
And just no one wants to accept it. It's minerals in the water.
It's the amount of quartz crystal that are in the water there. It disrupts all of the instruments and everything. Yeah.
And if you don't have electronics, you're gonna fucking sink.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think they're probably
all of them have the same minerals. All of the triangles across the world have the same triangles.
How come we don't have crashes here?
Why?
What do you mean?
Because it's not enough to actually disrupt that level of...
Under Jason's house? Come on now.
Oh, wow.
Friend, no,
you would have to have so
magnetite.
much more concentrated amounts of that.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of magnetite in the Bermuda Triangle
is freaking
if anyone
ridiculous.
Actually got the rights to mine it, that's huge.
Well, not only that, but on top of that, there's carbon outbursts and tons of them. Okay, so if you have a carbon outburst at the sea level, then it's going to suck in a ship.
That's pretty much like the Titanic going down over like with another ship going over top of it. And they've actually said that the actual pressure coming out of the ocean is enough to actually go about 100 feet in the air, taking out planes as well.
Yeah, those carbon bursts are freaking scary. Like, they really are. There's a documented case where a lake in Nigeria had a carbon burst, and it took out 4 surrounding whole villages. It killed everything for 4 surrounding villages.
Like Nagos.
Yep. Livestock, everything.
And think about how stupid some of the people that explore the Bermuda Triangle are. Well, the last plane was doing about 100 feet altitude when it went down, so we'll do 105 and hopefully we'll have better luck.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck me, come on.
And that is the problem that I see too. And we see less and less and less planes and stuff going down in the Bermuda Triangle as our technology increases. Mm-hmm. As we cope with the fact that there's these minerals, that there's these outbursts, that there's these things here, we see less and less of it every year.
And look, Nikki's got a good point with being under the sea. The other one could be Antarctica, because there's a whole bunch of area there on there we haven't explored yet. There's also hundreds of islands in the Arctic.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And why the hell wouldn't they put it there? No one's going there.
Exactly.
And to be perfectly honest, there are several islands that they say we are not allowed on because of things like toxic snakes, or because of tribes that live there, or because of... Are we necessarily sure? We've never actually been there. It doesn't mean that those things are actually there. It just means don't go there.
T-Rex.
You know, T-Rex it's like the old fable stories. Hey, don't go into the woods because the big bad wolf's going to eat you. Well, if you believe it, you're not going into the damn woods.
Oh, I will.
So we watched Spider-Man, the new Spider-Verse cartoon last night. Mm-hmm. Friend, you know there's a T-Rex Spider-Man?
Doesn't shock me any.
Oh, fuck.
They got something on Loki, yeah. They can pretty much do anything now.
Yeah.
Well, they had a pig Spider-Man, so... and not just any pig, basically Porky Pig. So
yeah, Spider Ham.
And remember they had dinosaur Transformers.
Yeah. So, friend, next week at their local drive-in, they're showing Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not going because I won't go to a drive-in for that one because it's the first movie, and they always make that one. They show it a little too early.
And they make it too dark.
Right. And that's a dark movie.
I mean, shit, it was 9 o'clock. It was still daylight here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We also have that at the right time. What the heck?
So they do a double feature. So we watched the Spider-Verse and we watched the new Little Mermaid last night.
Next week they're doing a triple feature for the weekend because it's the first week most of the kids are out of school.
Oh, okay.
So they do Transformers: Rise of the Beast, then Spider-Man: Spider-Verse, and then Little Mermaid to end it.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, what is
that?
This
reverse that
cost?
$6.
$6.
That's it?
Yeah.
The drive-in.
This we went last night and it was $10 for the entire carload.
Yeah, they were having the carload days, so it was $10.
Drive-in day.
Oh dear God!
How many were in the boot?
6.
I was going to say. Back in the day when we were all hiding.
No, but they're cool because they actually have go-kart tracks and they have an arcade and I mean it's
actually
they actually
Blue Fox
now have
pretty
a bar
awesome.
with a bowling alley in it too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah, they've expanded a bit since last time.
So the food went up in price, but not too bad. It's still less than a theater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
anyway, artifacts.
Well, this is all related to artifacts.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the golden popcorn.
Oh,
yep.
Okay,
yep.
I got you.
Yep, the magical popcorn. Just put a little sage on it. Yeah, it's magical popcorn.
Oh my God.
Mushrooms, not sage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh God! So, I can't even imagine eating that and then sitting there and watching Spider-Verse. Okay, I'm sorry.
I didn't say acid. I said sage.
I was going to say, what if they're eating chili dogs?
They still don't allow them in cinemas down here.
What's that?
Can't get the hot food. Can't get hot food in the cinemas down here.
Oh no!
They've only just brought in hot coffee, but that's about it.
Fuck Australia.
There.
Oh, are you serious?
What the hell?
The hot dogs with the relish and everything on it, and they don't do it down here. Because I've asked them about it, and they said, "Oh no, we can't do that because there's a chance it gets cold and it'll poison the people eating it." And I like, well, serve it hot then.
Yeah, America don't care. America don't care.
Honestly, you've seen people. If there was no food, half of them wouldn't go.
Exactly.
Frick, there's some of ours where you can actually get like Burger King and McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, theaters?
Well, I have seen the golf class cinemas down here where they have the luxury chairs that the legs pop out, or they've actually got beds now.
Yeah.
But they serve wine in that. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
You know, I wouldn't.
Oh, no.
Time out. There is no way I am laying down in a movie theater bed. Okay? Talk about scabies and every other venereal disease.
Your tickets
you could possibly
include a set of
get.
sheets. It's okay.
So what you're saying is that pretty much every motel room bed.
Yeah.
And here comes the Australian Public Health. Sorry, folks, we don't know why syphilis is spreading so rampant.
I do. It's the old people.
It's the old folks' homes. Always the spread.
Come here, Bertha. Come here.
No, that's true.
I'm serious.
In America, they are the number one spread for gonorrhea and syphilis.
Oh, God. No.
Mm-hmm.
Friend.
Oh, come on. You can't imagine
My
getting your freak
balls,
on granny style.
Come here and help me out with that. Yeah, no, fuck that.
The little blue pill.
Yeah.
Bring your Lysol.
Hey, at least they'll go out with a heart attack.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, come on, life expectancy. Do what you want at that point. Shit.
Okay, so I do believe that we have an area where those are kept, but not until they cause an issue.
Whoa, what are you talking about? Old people?
Yeah. But, no, supernatural artifacts. I do believe there is a Warehouse 13 type of situation. But I don't think they're as organized. They don't go searching for items.
They wait until
something happens.
So, what do you think the last artifact, looking at the news sources, we've had?
Looking at the news sources, we have no fucking clue.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because they're that. I honestly believe they are that good at their job that they would we wouldn't know anything about it.
They would have to be.
The Utah monolith.
That's a possibility.
But we know who built that.
But where did it go?
No, he got the one that disappeared.
He never grabbed it back. He said.
Oh, okay. Well then,
well, I think that might be the last one that went in there.
No one has laid claim to taking it.
Yeah.
Well, it was causing a bunch of environmental problems out there. People were doing what people in this country do, which is litter and leave all the crap behind, and probably doing graffiti and other things. So I'm sure it was removed and taken. And
which is fucked up, because if you're on one side of the fence of the national park, it's a real big issue. But if you're on the other side of the fence, it's just fucking normal living.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
So, do you think National Park Rangers could be the wardens of...
No,
God, no.
No, I think they called in somebody with a helicopter and...
I think that might be the reason that some areas in national parks are off limits for certain amounts of time.
I think this is one of the agencies that governments don't know about.
Probably.
Well,
it's like Kingsman type shit.
Yeah.
Well, now, we know that the guy that built... or that carved Mount Rushmore had put in a museum inside one of the, was it the ears of one of the presidents?
No, it's
behind him. But yeah,
behind it. Okay, behind it. But they were going to store. They were going to have the Constitution there and everything else, and it never got around to it because he died and they just barely finished it.
No,
yeah, they were talking. They were making it Constitutional Hall.
Yeah, and
behind
he
it.
actually got. He ended up making a 9x9 cell room. And then that's as far as he got. It's just an open cave.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's the point. If you're going to store it somewhere, wouldn't you want it to be super protected? Something like NORAD, or where it's built into a mountain, or
if he would have ever finished it, that would have been what that was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, yeah, That's kind of where I'm going with it. Somewhere like that, something akin to that. It would be
where you're never gonna find shit.
Humidity,
but it's in plain sight.
Well, and see, that's what I'm wondering. Huh? Like with Warehouse 13. Okay, if we go by the logic of Warehouse 13, there's been several different sites throughout history that have done this until number 13 that they're on now.
Right.
Right. So who's to say that they didn't do that throughout history? I mean, there's certain parts of Egypt we aren't allowed in.
Well, there's certain parts of every country you're not allowed in. I mean,
there's certain parts of all different organizations.
The problem is, you've got some of these items that are would be like if they were actually true. I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they aren't. But if they are actually true, and some of them are so fucking dangerous,
they destroy the planet.
Can't have people walk around them.
No.
Well, the Lost Ark alone would be if the Bible is to be believed and its destructive power. Not just talking about the Indiana Jones version, but I mean, they got it pretty much spot on with the Bible. I mean,
or like Pandora's box if you're going by like Bible outlets,
right? Pandora's box.
I don't think the Indiana Jones version was so bad, though. Didn't it only kill the Nazis?
It did only kill the Nazis.
So that's a solution. That's not a problem.
Well, that's assuming that it knows the difference between whoever's... Now, if it's God, you would presume that, yes, if it's that all-powerful and it's His creation, yeah, you would assume that it would be only for good purposes, not for evil. But these days...
There's a fine line.
Annihilate everybody.
Yeah. 3 Nazis die around it. One little Asian kid walks up, gives it a little scrubbing so that it looks clean again, and all of a sudden it's good. Doesn't get touched.
So, what do you think about some of these disappearing airplanes? Maybe they're carrying an artifact.
No, there's a movie. What the hell was that movie that came out? It was like where there was an airplane that was carrying some kind of really horribly deadly disease. And it crashed in like a swamp in this little farming community.
Oh!
And then they had to cut off the entire community and...
No, I don't think that's the Crazies. I think it's Contagion or something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, the Crazies. You're absolutely right. It's the Crazies,
okay, yeah. The Crazies.
Okay. So I think that it would be that kind of a scenario where they would just quarantine whatever the radius of said device would be and try to contain it.
I don't believe that they would actually take down planes to get to it.
Depending on what it was.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
For the good of the human race?
I think these are the type of people that have the clearance to actually just walk in, grab it, and say goodbye.
Possibly.
Yeah, and then we'll get some weird news thing saying, this was stolen from the Smithsonian magically today, and we have no leads on who took it.
Yep.
They've got a missing $1 trillion, so hello.
Yeah, it's got to be going somewhere.
Where's that money going?
Or this was archived.
Yeah.
And then we never see it again.
Who's paying who?
Yep.
Right, well, we talk about, the giants that they found, and then all of a sudden they magically disappeared, and nobody fucking found them ever again.
The dragon in the British Museum.
Right. All of these things. So, where do they go? They go somewhere.
That could even go towards the bones of Anunnaki.
Yeah. And any of this stuff where we're like, hey, didn't something come out where they found this, and then all of a sudden there was a break-in, or there's a fire, or there's...
Yep.
And it's all completely destroyed.
These stories that
never
really
to come up again.
Because they don't know they're supposed to talk about it, and also they just...
Like the British Museum dragon.
Yep.
What if all of a sudden he started to recompose?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you think you might have a fire-breathing dragon on your frickin' tail coming up, and you don't know what to do. All of a sudden, 2 guys in suits show up and say, we'll take it.
What do you
You're gonna give it to them.
You hand it the fuck over and you never mention it again.
Yep.
Okay.
And it disappears from news.
Why would it disappear? Because, hello. I'm not saying that 2 guys in a suit that I don't know came up and took something out of the museum. I'm saying, whatever they told me to say. Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't get the opportunity because they put a bullet in your head and say you committed suicide.
No shit, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying whatever the fuck they want me to say.
What about the Men in Black?
or it's a possibility, like for some people who are willing to be quiet about it, for another government agency comes in and handles it, and they make up a story with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where we get the CIA, FBI, those type of involvements. Because, you know what, those guys are, like, they're trained to lie for their lives. Like, that's what they do.
Well, and you also got to understand that sometimes you'll get this random story of something completely incidental. Like, there was a school that went on lockdown today. Something like that. And for some goddamn reason, the FBI, the CIA, and every other fucking person in the world is there. And then it's just resolved as it was a non-incident. Well, why in the hell were all of these top organizations there in looking over something that was a non-incident?
Yeah.
You wouldn't call in 15 different organizations for a non-incident.
And that's where you...
exactly.
That's where they all of a sudden get, it must have been a false flag event.
Yeah, exactly. You get all these false flag events. You get all these non-incidents. You get all these, it was just precautionary. Or we were doing a drill, or...
And in all reality, it was something that would have killed a significant amount of people.
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, you gotta think about the fact that some of these things find their ways into people's houses. Through yard sales, through different thrift stores, through different stuff. I mean, even passed down from generation to generation. Something can be completely non-deadly until you open it, or whatever. Or until you activate it somehow.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So, if it's been in a generational family for 30 generations, and it just sits up on your counter somewhere, doesn't mean that one day it's not just going to explode and become something crazy.
True.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that probably somewhere out there in the world, there's some family that has the Ark of the Covenant and has no idea what the hell it is. It's great-great-grandma's jewelry box, or I'm using it as a footstool.
We found it in antique store. It's got these nice little handles coming out of it and everything.
Right, or
and
we bought it at Goodwill for $30. Or it was at this yard sale, an estate sale. All of these things where you can just come across... It's the same amount of places that you can come across what you would call possessed items or anything like that.
I'm pretty sure the Ark of the Covenant's in the Vatican.
Oh, probably.
But, more than likely. That's where it belongs.
There is this Christian sect in Ethiopia that says they have it. And nobody gets in to see it except the priest that goes in there and he can only go in there for like a few minutes and then come back out once a day, or the radiation off of it will kill him.
Wasn't that in Argentina?
No, that's in Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, okay.
Yeah.
Which I call bullshit on. Ethiopians can barely afford to fucking eat. If they had an ark made out of fucking gold, they'd be selling that shit.
Oh,
they're also extremely devout
I've been to
Christian.
Africa. I didn't see any fucking skinny people there.
Any what?
Skinny people.
What part of Africa did you go to?
Somalia.
Different place, though.
Ethiopia.
I was got all the little kids with the big bullies.
I was looking for them.
And Sarah McLachlan
I saw some pretty fat Somalis.
For $1 a day.
Seriously. They weren't starving. They wanted my troll dolls. That was it. And football. Hey, GI, give me football. No, go the fuck away. But anyway.
Wow, you're mean.
Okay, so what about King Arthur's sword?
Excalibur.
Which one?
Excalibur.
Yes, King Arthur had 2 swords.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because
the Excalibur and what was the other one?
I don't think it had a name.
Excalibur 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No, because Excalibur was given to him by the Lady of the Lake. What do you think he used before that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he pull it out as a kid? Or is that just in the movie?
That's just in the movie.
Okay.
Well,
see, this is my Arthurian knowledge. Nothing. So,
yeah, no, he was given the sword in his late 20s by the Lady of the Lake. And before that, he had his sword. and he kept it on him. One he wore on his left side, one on his right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And supposedly, Excalibur was returned to the Lady of the Lake upon his death.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, technically it might be in a warehouse somewhere with artifacts, but I really think that it's at the bottom of that lake with whoever or whatever the Lady of the Lake actually was.
Well, and it could be a lot of the artifacts that have been gone that aren't available to us, is that they're just, if whoever it was that created it didn't want it to be seen by humans again, they took it back.
Right, or it was taken back into their realm, whatever realm they were coming from.
That's where it's safer.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to deal with it.
Maybe their realm might be now destroyed because the wrong person got a hold of it there.
Yeah, that's true.
Or being, not person.
That's why the veil's thinning.
There is no veil.
What? Wait, save that for the October show.
No, I still, like, with him, I truly do wonder where a lot of his stuff has gone and is, because we have, I think it's a contention of like 8 castles that claim to be Camelot.
Yeah.
Right.
And my favorite is still Leap Castle. But that's just a personal preference, and that's because that's where the one story holds the most depth, and that's of the Sword and the Stone. So,
what about the chalice?
You're talking
which
the
one?
Holy
There's
Grail?
quite a few of those.
Say again?
The Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Friend, it wasn't that holy.
I don't think
it was
so.
just a fucking cup.
I've seen those before too.
Like
in antique stores.
I have a bunch of those here.
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah. I bought some in Germany, and so the thrift stores and shit in Germany are fucking awesome, because what they see is are cool as shit for us little Americans that's grabbing shit and going. Like Steins for a mark. Oh wait, I mean a euro.
Because a lot of people have an issue with, and Kayla actually proved this today.
What?
Friend, they believe that the Holy Grail held the blood of God.
Right.
It didn't. It held the blood of Christ.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't God at that point. He was a full human being.
So you think he's God now? After he arose from the dead?
He is part of them,
He became the Holy Trinity afterwards.
But
beforehand, he was nothing.
The sources I've heard of, the soldier that poked him to get the blood became the immortal soldier.
Yes. That has been said.
But at that point, he was a spectacular human, but still human.
And at the time, do you think any of the disciples actually thought to grab the cup?
Oh, no.
And if they did they grab the right one? There was probably 13 of them on the fucking table.
Right.
So,
true.
Like
they wouldn't think to hide them.
It probably went back into wherever they were at, got washed, and put back in the cupboard.
Well, now, we also know that Jesus was kind of a rock star, and it wasn't his own people, maybe somebody wherever they were having the meal.
A zealot. Yeah.
Yes, somebody may have just collected it for their own private, like, oh, well, I saw Jesus drink from this, and they held on to it.
Jesus, this is mine.
I have a real issue believing that people were that fucking shallow back then. I know we do that now, and I've handed Kayla a few napkins and said, spit into this, and then sold it on eBay, but...
was trying to sell it. I think it was probably, whoever it was probably keeping it because of their belief in Jesus himself. They weren't trying to make a buck off of it. They were collecting it for themselves.
It would be a shekel.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like collectors, they just grab it and they're like, hey, look at this. Look what I found.
I mean, it's a possibility, but... Knowing what... Like, that's the thing. They talk about the chalice and talk about it being made of all this exuberant stuff. They were in a small tavern.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't anywhere, they weren't at a palace.
They were in a guest house.
Yeah. Like,
right.
It would have been like one of our mismatched cups from the cupboard.
Oh, no, it's the Last Crusade with Indiana Jones. That's more believable, where it's an actual, just like regular wooden cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But over the years, people writing stories and creating, tales of,
and because
things to be found. And,
it wouldn't be a metal cup. It wouldn't be bronze, I wouldn't think.
No,
like
not in a poor town like that. It wouldn't have been. But that's the thing, is that through years and years and different depictions and everything else of all of this stuff, we end up with a giant chunk of gold in front of them with emeralds encrusted in it and precious gems and all kinds of crap.
Yep. Those were
Merlin's gems?
Yeah.
Now, see, the one that I'm interested in, okay, the one that, piques my interest a lot, is the Tooth of Buddha.
Damn it, you stole that from me.
Yeah, dude.
You must have looked at the same thing I was looking at.
Tooth of Buddha. Okay, so when Buddha was set on fire after his death, it is said that there was a woman that went and grabbed one of his teeth.
It's kind of fucked up.
There it is for you,
and
right?
that the Tooth of Buddha, being in its presence, can cause anybody to convert to Buddhism.
I don't want to get anywhere near that.
And that there was actually a whole city that was made up around it. That there was a holy war that was fought over it. And at the end, all of the soldiers fighting for the other side ended up converting to Buddhism. And that now it lies in a temple called Temple of the Tooth.
Oh, that's creative.
And, yeah. But it's said to have lost its powers because it's also said to have not actually been the real tooth anymore. That it was taken at some point and replaced with a different tooth.
By the Warehouse 13 people.
Right, because it was too powerful.
Okay.
So,
I'm still not convinced that the Vatican can hold on to something like that, because anything that goes against their... You have a tooth that's powerful. Wouldn't they be the ones that would want to collect it and hold it and keep it where nobody can ever find it?
Not if it converted everybody around it to Buddhism.
Oh, no. That's true.
You wouldn't want that anywhere near your...
Well, it's true that they've been known for that. And I think at this day and age, and even... because they have returned some items of Islam that they collected throughout the Crusades.
Right.
To
Islam.
Yeah.
Middle East.
And, but anything they collected, they've gone beyond that point where it's no longer just for get rid of the other beliefs. It's live in peace with them, but try and convert them nicely.
Win the hearts and minds.
Yes. Which
would help if their priests would quit messing around with children. That would kind of.
Oh no,
things.
they've actually worked on that too.
Yeah.
That's good.
This Pope is actually doing a lot of changes that a lot of people ain't liking. But
oh no, he's not well liked.
No, but, because he's actually doing a lot of shit that he should have been done a long time ago.
I gotta be perfectly honest though. When we bring up any religious organization, when we bring up any organization that has small children and leaders, okay? There's accusations and allegations, and there is actual abuse happening in almost all of them.
Of course. But a lot of, at least the Christian denominations, the Protestants, most of the priests can get married. Or the ministers, reverends, and so, but yes, there's still, there's always going to be, it's just a large chunk of society.
I get encouraged when all the beliefs follow suit. So, like, the Pope came out and said, if you are accused, you will, correct me if I'm wrong, Cole, but they will be taken to the Vatican prison.
And never saw again.
And never seen again.
Yeah, they are never seen again.
In other words, they're not taken to prison.
No. But 2 years after that, you have the Southern Baptist Committee that actually came out and released a fairly 100-page document listing all the different Christian ministers that were accused of pedophilia and child molestation and whatnot. So I mean, when you start seeing them all kind of flying, they're obligated to, in my opinion, once the Catholics stepped up and did it.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
What were you saying, Nikki?
Just doing a little bit of research.
Oh, okay.
Besides coughing.
Mm-hmm. Why the fuck would you walk up and just steal his tooth? That's rude.
I don't know. It just
no. You took it. The tooth fairy.
Maybe that's what she thought she was.
What about
the tooth fairy took it.
The Temple Mound or Temple Stone?
So Temple Mound or Temple Mount, that one's still intact.
Yeah, but I mean, supposedly it has supernatural powers.
So it was supposed to have come from an asteroid,
right?
And so when they make their trip to Mecca, they all come up and they kiss the stone. Has it glowed or has it shown any kind of power? No. Now, the minute it does, I would imagine that would disappear and something would be put in its place if that is the real temple stone. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's not going to change the power of the mind that's kissing that stone. They think it's real.
But if they still did that during COVID?
No, probably about 100
Actually,
years
sadly, no. So it's been a tradition that's been millennia, and during COVID, it was completely shut down.
Yeah,
and they were not allowed to make their trip to Mecca.
Even the Middle East, they stopped doing their 5 prayers a day at the community level. You can do it in your home.
Was lonely after that?
Huh? Oh, I'm sure.
Like, it never got no loving.
But
oh dear God!
What?
I've got to say,
the same happened for the Blarney Stone too. When when COVID hit,
that's what I was thinking. Was the Blarney Stone?
Yeah,
stones get lonely too. Just ask Keith Richards.
Work hard, the same.
Other than kidney stones, they never get lonely.
That's because they're a bunch of assholes,
right?
So, what about the Spear of Destiny?
Oh, now that,
that's a fascinating one. That's what I was looking into.
Yeah,
well,
now that. Go ahead.
Again, see, those ones I have such an issue with because back then they would go back into the barracks, put their spears into the barrel, and walk away. So at the end of the day, that spear probably actually got put back when they came back out, and they grabbed a different one.
Right.
You never know if that's like what he carried for the rest of his days was the actual spear.
That one's the one I have a little bit more of an issue with too. I agree with you on that. The chalice or the cup that Jesus drank from, I could see that, but the Spear of Destiny, it seems like something like that because it's the Roman soldiers. Why would they care? And it's not like people are going to be going into their barracks to take their weapons. The civilians wouldn't be allowed near it. So,
well, supposedly he did care, but not. It took him a minute to actually understand. And by a minute, I mean like 3 days.
Right. I was about to say, 3 days. Yeah, that's a minute.
So, in that 3 days, how many spears did he change hands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know...
It's in Hitler's bunker.
No.
Well,
no.
One they haven't found yet.
Nothing is in Hitler's bunker anymore.
Which one? You don't think there's one they haven't found yet?
I really don't.
So, when I was...
And there are some things in Hitler's bunker.
Yeah.
Parts of him and his wife.
Ouch.
That's what she said.
a Russian bunker. Yeah.
So when I was in Stuttgart in 90, they actually found on our base a bunker door that had vintage, brand new deuce and halves, all kinds of German military equipment. Now, if they found that in late 80s, early 90s, don't you think there's more?
Oh, sure.
I'm
sure they got stuff. Well, they're looking for that gold train to this day.
I know they've identified most of them.
There could still be.
And for the last 3 years, he stopped the build of all bunkers other than the super bunker and concentrated on that.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So I'm sure there's still bunkers that they might find some crazy shit in.
Hey.
We know Hitler was into the supernatural. He was into the occult. He was into finding artifacts.
Well, and not just that, but like think of the U.S. Is the president the only one who has a bunker?
No, absolutely not.
Every senator would, every governor, especially from the 1970s era or 60s era.
Right.
Sorry, they would all have bunkers from that era. They're not going to his. Like the president of Canada.
No, that kind of defeats the purpose of keeping, a continuity of government.
Well, and the governor of California isn't going to fucking make it.
No.
So, there's how many bunkers in the U.S. just for government officials? Like, come on. There's gotta, how many, so how many do you think Hitler's underlings had?
Yeah, that's true.
And they're making more. They've been making more in the last 20 years, 15 years.
Well, and
I'm not even worried about them. I'm talking about the.
But like,
I know.
If Hitler comes up to you and you're one of his underlings and he says, "I need your bunker for this," do you say no?
No.
What about the Horn of Jericho?
Huh?
What about the Horn of Jericho?
Good question.
That's a touchy subject. It was horny.
Who gets to blow it?
The Vikings took it.
Apparently, they took turns.
Oh my god. Okay. The Horn of Jericho. What was that? Like the Spear of Destiny.
Well, do you think there's any? So, America is only 250 years. Do you think there's any artifacts here?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Liberty Bell?
I don't believe the Liberty Bell would be one, but I think the John Hancock's pin.
Yeah, well, but even that.
Regarding the Liberty Bell, as a psychic, don't fucking touch the Liberty Bell. I am here to tell you, as a kid who was psychic, I touched the Liberty Bell, and holy crap, did I see a lot of stuff. It was incredible. Of course, they don't let you touch it. I did. Got into trouble for it.
But so let's talk about that for a second.
They've got it encased now.
But that's also coming from the perspective of a psychic that is getting visions from touching an artifact. The average person touching said artifact isn't going to get those visions. So is there really any magical power to an artifact if just a normal person touches it?
I do believe so. I don't believe they'll get as vivid or as clear of visions because they won't understand them as well. But I do believe that it would still give you
a headache.
What is known as the
a brief glimpse.
No, it would make your hair stand on end. You might have weird dreams about it.
Kind of like Stonehenge.
Yeah.
not even Stonehenge. There's some people that get that, like, I'm one of them. Just walking onto certain areas of ground.
Well, yeah.
You can
but
feel
Stonehenge
the presence.
Was moved. Yeah, but Stonehenge was moved. You'd feel the presence of the stone, not the land itself, because the land where the original Stonehenge was used for very specific things that they haven't even discovered yet. There are certain ones of us who know. I'm not going to talk about it. Keith talks about it openly. I won't. But get him talking about the original site of Stonehenge, and it'll blow your frickin' mind.
Well, and that's
this stuff.
That's the problem with Stonehenge.
You mean like that kind of stuff, Nikki?
Is what would you consider the original site of Stonehenge? Because there have been several original hinges. Do you know what I mean? There's been Woodhenge, there was Seahenge, there's like, and these are the ones that we know about.
There's a lot of them
that haven't been.
Yeah.
So the very first hinge, like, they say that there's a mound that you can still potentially see part of it in, but we don't know that was the first hinge.
Well, and you know, you talk about energy. Hinge. So in blood,
they haven't even found the underside of that Stonehenge either.
No.
Because there were caverns under that specific Stonehenge in England. There were caverns. I remember the caverns.
Well, and to be perfectly honest, most of our major historical sites, and I'm talking even modern day historical sites, have caverns underneath of them that people haven't seen.
They do.
Okay? We call them bunkers now, or we call them this or that now.
Yeah.
But it's been since like the beginning of time. If somebody wanted something not to be found, they would dig a cavern and they'd put it in there. Like,
fill it with mercury.
Fill it with mercury. There we go. Whatever it is that you want to do with it. But to keep it from being found or being seen or the powers of whatever coming out, people would do all kinds of really strange underground stuff. And there's millions of caves like that.
During some of the E.T. wars, there were different sections of Earth that were people stayed in caverns to stay out of being shot down, so to speak.
Well, they say that some of our biggest leaders and stuff spent, like, if you actually look at the historical, like, accuracy and everything of Buddha's life, half of his life he spent in a cave trying to find his inner self.
Right.
And it was the same set of cave systems that he went into to do this.
Well, and those caves are filled with different minerals, too, which actually help the body in order regarding the meditation, the kinds of meditation.
Buddha spent half his life trying not to eat everything in sight. Let's fully admit that.
Okay.
No,
Buddha was a big
that
boy.
was Genghis Khan.
No, and Buddha.
Okay.
Because he did a lot of that fasting thing stuff. And, like, that temptation, that would lead me underground, too.
Okay, so the cave of the Emperor, okay? Seeing as though he's got it, Robert has a picture of the cave of the Emperor up here. Okay?
The Clay Army.
Yes, the Clay Army.
Yeah, that looks like a building, not a cave.
It is.
That looks like a warehouse 13.
It was cut into the ground. There was stuff on top of
it. Does.
There's light coming from the ceiling.
Oh,
it's a building now over top. Oh my God! Never mind. Whatever. We're done.
It's a modern cave.
We're done here.
It's a Chinese man cave.
I'm so dead. So dead.
You know,
modern cave.
There's a door in this place, I think, that they have not opened yet, and it's under the guise of, well, we don't want to I forget what the Chinese government's excuse was for it, but for historical purposes and to honor
they're dead.
The religions or whatever. I find that hard to believe.
Are you talking the I want to call it the pillar. It's not a pillar. It's like a golden, armada is the word that keeps popping up. That's not what I mean. It's like a pyramid. It's not exactly a pyramid, but part of it is underground.
Well, it's a temple of some variety.
Temple, that's the word I was trying to get my brain to say. And they started to open it and then shut it pretty quickly, and then the government, is that the one that you're referring to, where the government actually completely shut it down and blocked it because they were afraid of dire consequences? And yet, supposedly, there's trillions of dollars worth of gold. Trillions.
Yeah, the Chinese government. Now, why would a government that doesn't believe in religion suddenly decide, well, we don't want to let people in because we want to honor their religion?
Because they don't.
What did they find?
They don't want to admit they stole all the fucking money in there and built shit they shouldn't have.
Yep.
Exactly. Or like Nikki said, they found something and it was all scary as hell, and they went, nope, shut it up again. So.
Not today. Yeah.
Nope.
Well, truth be told, you've got an entire army worth of eyes looking at you as you stand at the doorway. So.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody has to help me out here because I cannot remember whose body it was that was taken.
That was mine.
Right before the beginning of World War II, there was a body that was said to, if it was taken and removed from its burial site, that it would cause a giant curse upon whoever took it and siege upon the world. It was taken by the Russian Tsar to prove his power, and then everything.
Nicholas?
Vlad the Impaler.
No.
Couldn't have been Nicholas, because Nicholas wasn't in power after World War I.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
And I remember Nicholas.
Tomb.
And there was
it wasn't him.
There was no Russian Tsar after World War I.
Maybe it wasn't a Russian Tsar. Maybe it was like a.
Shit. Well, the Japanese.
I knew Rasputin. It wasn't Rasputin.
Yeah.
The wasn't anybody in that family. It was
No, but
the Japanese. The Japanese looted a ton of stuff from China and Korea while they were doing their raping and pillaging campaign. So it could very well have been the Japanese. Germans, maybe?
I can't remember. But when I figure it out, I'll get back to that.
If it were Nicholas, I would have heard about it.
Say Nicholas?
No, he was
the
never
Tsar,
cited.
Russian Tsar Nicholas. If it was him, I would have known about it in that lifetime.
Krampus.
Romanov.
And I didn't hear anything about it.
Okay.
And I was in a position to be in the know.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
So,
and FYI, I'm going to clarify something. Rasputin wasn't a nasty guy. He was made out to be like one. Stinky, as I'll get out. He was seriously stinky, but he was not a horribly nasty guy as everybody's made him out to be.
Yeah.
Knew him personally. Remember him really well, actually. Anyway, he was out of his time. He should have been in our timeline for the amount of stuff he had the abilities to do. It was pretty incredible. Anyway, sideline.
Then back to your regular schedule. Yeah.
You know, and I mean no offense when I say this, Nikki, and none at all.
No,
and I'm not saying that I don't believe in any of the past
Totally
lives
fine.
or anything.
I know.
But
I get it.
when somebody says that a person was a good person versus a bad person...
Oh, no. I'm not saying he was necessarily a good person. I'm just saying that he wasn't as nasty as everybody claims.
Right. All I can say about that is that everybody seems good to the people that are close to them. That they push away their flaws. They push away the things that, make them a...
Oh, no. I know what he did. I know exactly what he did. Believe me.
Like, I'm pretty sure somewhere out there...
Yeah.
There's people that believe that Hitler was the most amazing person they'd ever met. Because in their minds, he was. Because he treated them well. Do you see what I'm saying?
There's still some people here today that think he was just fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I totally get where you're going with it.
Right. That, to the eyes of a person that is befriending that person, you always see through those that don't exactly let you see past certain things.
Yeah. Mama loved him. Oh.
So, we need to go find Warehouse 13 and buy it.
We're never going to... Oh, my God. If we even found where this actually was, okay, if we found where all these artifacts were held and everything else, first of all, it would be a really, really damn bad idea for the group of us to decide to walk up into that place.
Oh, we'd have fun.
Okay?
Come on now.
Because we are not the group to be walking up into that place. Trust me. Okay? Second of all,
we could handle it.
I wouldn't want to be 100 goddamn miles away from that place. Let alone walking through the damn front door.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Where's your sense of adventure?
My sense of adventure doesn't include me being impaled by the first thing that pops off the counter and goes, fucking Kayla. Okay?
Okay. I can verify that's not true.
You never went through a side door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, except for Mr. Eric here, who's the king of screaming battle axe and running in before we can even roll the dice.
I'm just saying, I've been twice, and you didn't seem to have a problem with it.
What? Shut up.
We're not going to go through the front door. We're going to break through the roof or the chimney and rappel.
No, dude. This is a bad idea.
Why?
That's all I'm saying. Have you... Come on. Do you see me propelling through anything? Okay?
Come on.
Don't bathe for a week and you repel everything.
Jesus.
See Robertson?
And quite literally... I know that the second I walked through there, something would decide it was my time to die. It would be like, you're funny. Nope. Okay?
I'm doing like the GIF in Discord. I'm just going to run in like the guy at Area 51, do the Naruto run, and just go, I'll lead the way. You guys just follow behind.
Okay, yep, perfect. You lead the way, Rick. We're right behind you.
Tell us how it goes for you.
As soon as we see the Spear of Destiny take you out, we'll just kind of duck and cover. And
if we're going by Warehouse 13 standards, the football would take me out before I got close enough to get to the door. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Here's me and Eric following behind him. Yes, that's your dog.
Gosh.
So,
okay.
You bring up the Winchester brothers. Do you think the first Winchester ever made could be an artifact?
No. I think it's a gun.
Okay.
Well, but that was part of the show, so...
And the first one ever made never left the family.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder, though. I rarely do wonder. We say all of these, like... Oh, God, religious artifacts and all of these other things. Mm-hmm. Well, there has to be artifacts that are still being made. Okay? Like modern artifacts.
Like a soup can?
True.
Something that had like a massive significance to the person. Okay, so when we talk about like for instance possessed items, okay?
Annabelle.
Okay. But there's also items that had such a significance to the person that owned them that a piece of their essence is in them. Not necessarily demonic by any means or anything like that.
No,
their intent, their thought process, their who made them who they are.
Well, that's what makes them an artifact.
Piece of used furniture will do that.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. There has to be artifacts that are still being made.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every day. When you look at it from that context, every day. Now, will it kill mankind? Probably not. But
well, it depends on who made it.
It depends who made it, yeah.
And what their intent and their thought process and everything was when they did.
Elon Musk.
Well, it reminds me of like... This is a stupid idea, a stupid way to put this, but...
That's creepy, Eric. That was creepy.
Elon Musk?
Yeah. But it reminds me of Pinocchio, where he wanted a son so badly that he gave him the power to live.
Created a sex toy.
Whatever.
The first blow-up doll.
Pretty much.
Yep.
All she had to say was lie to me.
Wasn't Dominic Paradise.
Brian, okay. Yes, there are still items that are being created actually almost every day. Especially because like we have new events that have happened like 9/11.
Yep.
Friend, there are pieces of the building that they found where they went on to firehouses in other parts of the country, and those firehouses have extreme luck now. Friend, where they would have issues beforehand,
right?
They haven't had an injury since they got the piece.
Ooh.
Friend, I
found
New York? 3.
Want to go to New York?
Huh?
Want to go to New York?
Not all of them are in New York.
Left.
No.
It's all gone. I imagine there's still a guy on the street corner claiming to have like.
Oh yeah, there's always scammers.
Friend, but well, yeah, and some of them aren't scams. They're just supposed to be good-natured humor. Like we've got a guy in Canada who is famous for standing up for Native rights, and he was eventually hung. So there are a bunch of stores sell chunks of rope that are like an inch long, and they say the rope that hung Louis Riel. And it's not scamming people. It's just
it's a joke.
Yeah, well, it's
a novelty item.
Yeah, a novelty item is what I'd call it. That's right.
But that's different. To me, that's it's a novelty item. So,
friend. Well, no, mine was real. I got a piece of
you got a real piece of the rope?
Oh my fucking god.
What?
Nothing.
That's what's wrong with Kayla.
Well, a little off from that, but we do have where an image of Mary or an image of Jesus pops up on a piece of toast, and people will consider it. Is that an artifact? To them, it seems to be as such. Although I imagine most people saying
they frame that piece of French toast.
Honestly, in my opinion, most of those nowadays, most of those nowadays are fake. In my opinion.
Well, of course, but they sure want you to buy it for however much money they can sell it on eBay.
Well, so, like there's a field in one of the European countries, I can't remember where, but Jesus actually showed up as a natural formation. And there's no guarantee it's Jesus, but there is a picturesque image of what we view as Jesus in the mountains. It just became a natural formation that kind of turned out cool.
Yeah.
And you look at the Badlands in Alberta, we have the Indian head. If you look through the area, there's an actual formation that the hills have caused to look like an Indian.
Okay.
And the area, this is the weirdest part, the area was named after it.
Huh.
In like the 1500s.
Right.
How the fuck did they know?
They watched South Park.
Huh?
They watched The Simpsons.
Probably. But like, it's stuff like that. Like the Jesus one is kind of cool, but the fact that we have those, and a lot of people will call it pareidolia, but when so many people see it and see the exact same thing, and it's so pronounced, how do you deny that?
Right.
Friend. Yes, it does, Rick. Yes, it does. Friend.
I think, with all these, with all of it, I think pareidolia only goes so far.
Yeah.
When it's obvious, it's not pareidolia.
Yeah.
If more than one person sees it, it's not pareidolia. I think pareidolia has become a scapegoat for anything that skeptics don't want to see. Or even in the case of the paranormal, other teams or groups don't want them to get credit for it.
I'm trying to find that. There we go.
What do you got?
Save image. There we go. Discord.
What are you looking at?
Are you guys following along?
No?
Yeah.
So that's an actual rock formation in Alberta.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that is amazing.
So again, if you're listening to the show, you really need to be in the Discord chat because you miss a whole lot.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
It's an Indian head.
It's
What do
the
you
Indian
mean?
head
That's
of
me.
Alberta.
They knew I was coming.
And that's a natural formation?
Yes.
That's not pareidolia.
No. Now,
so it's quite cool that kind of stuff shows up.
It is.
Yeah.
Why does it look like almost like an anteater off to the side of the head? It's like an ET animal off to the side of the head.
What side?
What are you talking about?
Right side.
Right side, yeah, I see something too.
And it looks like a claw underneath.
And it looks like he's wearing the old earbuds that you'd get.
Yeah.
That's a road.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, the other thing looks like the trimmers.
Almost like, it almost looks like
was.
two pictures put together too.
Yeah, I see the Indian. But then you got the monster from Trimmers, and then the earbuds.
I can tell you, this is actually real. I've been there.
Oh, I believe it's real. Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Right.
I mean, they didn't hold a parade when I went or anything. I kept it under wraps, so... Friend.
Well, I mean...
What?
We see these type of markings on other planets, too.
God.
No, I've never seen my face on Mars. I checked.
No, but there was a face on it.
No, that was on fucking Uranus.
I have never been on Uranus.
Oh wow. Oh, that. Robert has one as well. Again.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Sheep Mountain?
Yeah.
He's straight up his nose.
Where's that, Robert?
It's just one that I looked up just now. It says Sleeping Indian Mountain, Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
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 That's
Okay.
Wyoming.
Of course, Wyoming's Indians are laying down. Those fuckers.
Hey, get off the American Native Americans.
Well, tell them to get wake the fuck up, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, now I have one. It's the fairy.
So.
The fairy flag of Dunvegan. Is that how it's pronounced? I guess that's how it's pronounced. But let's see, the MacLeod clan, Scotland. and it's been passed down from generation to generation. Now, the trick to it is that the tradition holds the flag contains magic that will protect the members of the clan in times of need, but it'll only work 3 times. So basically, it's like a djinn. If the genie in the lamp thing. So
right,
they've used it all up. They've used it 3 times. So yeah, I think they might be out of luck with it, but it still exists. It's on display somewhere in Scotland.
Huh.
So, yeah.
He is Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
Yeah. I thought they got the right to be immortal to begin with. So, because there could be only one.
Probably from Syria or Rhodes, and woven of silk in the 4th century AD. Legend has it that its sacred clan banner has meticulous powers.
Not anymore.
When unfurled in battle, the clan would invariably snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I'm reading that from, I can't even pronounce it, Dunvegancastle.com.
Well, they might have wanted to wait to use it until the fight with King Richard.
Yeah, like that'd come in handy.
Jesus Christ.
Fascinating.
Well, here, like, this is the Sphinx of Pakistan, which is a natural formation.
That looks like Justin Timberlake.
Better than Justin Bieber.
Moss Eisley Space.
I'm not going to say what that looks like.
Well,
Nikki, not everything looks like a penis. Come on.
Oh.
It's got a head. Okay, keep saying.
Spider powers activate. You. I haven't done my 1 bit of porn per episode, so yeah.
It's a circumcised penis.
Jesus fuck.
And it's still standing without the blue pill.
Yep.
Now, I kind of want Justin Timberlake to listen to the show. Because I just said it looks like Justin Timberlake, and everyone else compares it to a penis.
Well, Justin Timberlake looks like a penis. Yeah.
Oh, Master Penis, I give you the Leah fail. There's your penis.
That's not my penis.
Well, it's not mine either, but it is an actual supernatural relic.
Yeah.
So a lot of those actually are supposed to be penises. They're supposed to be phallic symbols. Much like the maypole, much like pagan artifacts, which would be used for fertility rites.
Now, see, this one is from Ireland.
Right, and that makes total sense.
Yeah, so it figured in feasts, the crowning of kings, and celebrations held to honor them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's why it's not that tall. It's a leprechaun penis.
I was thinking more troll.
On the other side making wise-ass cracks over it, and I just flipped them off. And they're sitting there, well, they're not sitting there, but they're standing there laughing their ass off at me. And I'm like,
it's a troll-like penis.
I'm like, seriously. I got comedians on 2 sides lifting up to the other side, and it's like,
you know what? Kudos to you. I love spirits that actually have a sense of humor. I mean, that's awesome.
Trust me, I got a lot of them coming around quite often.
Every Wednesday night, probably.
You know what? Last night on the way,
it's got a lot of action.
On our way to the movie, friend John asked us, "What is your favorite comic book villain?"
Really?
You know what my answer, or mine and Kayla's answer was? The 3 uncles from Casper.
Oh yeah.
Friend, that is 3 comedians.
Yep.
Friend.
Oh my god, the laughter too. Oh my
Waldorf
god.
and Sadler. The Muppets.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
But, friend, We have a strange planet, guys. Like, we can see that many things that are naturally occurring.
Mm-hmm.
And then one that someone put there. And it was probably a joke when they put it there. Like,
yeah.
Look, buddy, I made a penis.
He's referring to something in chat.
And then the fellow generations came along and, oh, look at how phallic it is. We must do rituals around it. Okay, that one's definitely a penis. Actually, no, that could be a person. That could be a person.
It will make my penis larger.
Nikki, did you just say my wood?
Or I was trying to say word and it didn't work out.
Wow.
Get me to laugh, make my lungs hurt.
Well, okay, so we're talking penises. They also have vaginal
Oh no.
Oh.
Where are we going here?
sculptures, too.
What?
Sculptures.
Cultures. Vagicultures.
Sculptures.
Oh. I'm sorry.
No, but that last one Kayla posted, that could be a person.
Hey, it could be.
It's one of those, what the little toys with that were made out of wood. That was what the figures were. They didn't have arms. They had the little head, and then what were those things? The play school?
Dicks.
I'm only 30. I'm only 39. I don't know what you guys had when you were kids growing up and playing
Shut
with
your hole.
dust.
I think that's where that fits.
We had holes in trees.
Okay, guys. This is the ultimate naturally made dingling.
Oh, naturally made dingling.
Back in our day, we had a stick
That's
in a rock.
that tree, isn't it, in Colorado?
Happy to have
Yeah.
a stick in a rock.
That's,
Oh my god, never mind. I came across something that was, I about died laughing over,
Devil's Tower.
um,
And it's petrified.
I think it's a
tree.
petrified tree stump.
Yeah.
it was a device in medieval times, and I went, what the hell?
Oh, yeah, they had all kinds of crazy sex
Like,
devices.
what
Even
the
in
hell?
even as back as far as Egyptian times.
Well, why do you think there's always a fertility god?
Yeah.
Or some variety.
Well, they have temples with the sacred prostitutes.
No, I get going into the queen's tomb and everything.
Right.
But really looking under her pillow and finding her sex toys, that's just rude.
oh, come on, people. Why do you think baguettes look the way they do?
Never going to that Jersey Mike's ever.
Ew.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So anybody know anything about the Seal of Solomon regarding going back to our original artifacts?
Mm-hmm.
The
Anybody know
ring
anything
of
about
the
it?
Seal of Solomon?
I've heard of it.
Ring, yes.
Yes,
So-
that it was originally a ring and that it gave him mass power over the people.
That was necromancy, though, wasn't it?
No.
No?
No. What do you have on it, Nikki?
Well, I was just looking something up and came across it, and it's from this guy who is a graduate of history and literature from the University of Manchester of England. His name is, it just says his first name, Robbie. And he wrote magical signet ring attributed to the Israelite King Solomon, depicted as being either a pentagram or a hexagram, and in religious legend supposedly gave Solomon various powers. As with other mythical objects, the ring allowed Solomon to command supernatural entities such as the Shaddam, a term to describe spirits and demons in Judaism, and jinn, meaning genies.
Right.
It was also said to allow him to speak to animals and provided projection against evil forces. The earliest references of the seal come from early Jewish tradition. In particular, it was first mentioned by the 1st century Jewish historian Josephus. It then later made its way into Islamic Arab sources, where it became associated with the prophet of the... Please forgive me if I mispronounce this. The prophet Sulam, who was said to control the wind, animals, and jinn. In both Jewish and Islamic magic talismans, the symbol is believed to have protective and healing powers.
Well, and that's why I called King Solomon really the original demonologist. When you, a couple of weeks ago, when you look at the seals of Solomon, and a lot of the work that Solomon did involved controlling demons and necromancy.
Well, the last statement says the most famous legends around the ring, however, come from medieval Eastern writers. They stated that the ring was engraved by God and was given to Solomon directly from heaven. It was made of brass and iron, and 2 parts were used to seal commands to good and evil spirits, respectively. While mentioned of a magic ring date back to around 100 AD, Solomon's association with the idea seems to, in general, be a later belief. Let's see if I can find this guy's full name, because I want to credit him, because that was a good read.
So
Robbie Mitchell.
So if we're going off of magical rings, okay, Charlemagne, the Ring of Charlemagne. Does anybody know? Okay,
Charlemagne.
Yeah. So he supposedly fell in love with this woman, and her power just like completely overtook him in every way. She got sick and she passed away, and he kept her body and everything like in the room and wouldn't let anybody touch her, wouldn't let anything happen to her. So one day a priest broke into the bedroom, took the ring, and he came back to the bedroom and was completely disgusted by this rotting corpse in his bed. Had everything burnt and everything else, and then became completely infatuated with the priest that took the ring. So the priest tossed the ring into the water, and he became completely infatuated with the water, and then built his death shrine, like village and everything, right next to the edge of this water, and lived there until he died.
Goodness. That's quite the situation. I didn't realize that was Charlemagne.
Yeah. And it was said to have
aspect of it.
Yeah, and it was said to have all been because of this magical ring that caused him to fall in love with whoever or whatever possessed it.
Wow. Little on the intense side.
Yeah.
And if true, I mean, seriously, if both rings were true, both the one of Charlemagne and the one that I just read, I mean, think about the amount of energy put in. I mean, seriously, think about the human brain and what the human brain can do unmasked, and everything that we could conceivably do with our energy.
Yeah.
Pretty intense stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if you look through history, there's been several cases of rings of power for different types of things. There's love rings, there's protection rings, there's rings of death, and they're all over throughout history. All of these different types of rings that caused this or that to happen to the king that became in possession of it, or anyone who became in possession of it. That's what half of the book series by J.R.R. Tolkien was taken from, is all of these rings throughout history that had what seemed to be a mythical power surrounding them.
All different kinds of power.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, I mean, what better way to do it than a ring? Something so easily hideable.
But the rings will usually only work with the energy of the person using it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Unless magic hasn't been imbued on it.
True.
Like, they say that Howard Carter, the guy who was the first archaeologist to open up King Tut's tomb, that what kept him from being cursed by the curse of the Pharaoh was the fact that he wore a ring of protection.
Right.
That he had gotten from a different dig site.
Yeah, everybody else pretty much that went in there didn't come back out. So, but I thought he died. I guess he didn't. Okay. Okay. Well, now there's the big one on the list I'm looking at is called the Foundation Stone. It's just a limestone or a piece of limestone, but it's at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes, because you get the Muslims and you get the Jews. So, but according to Muslim tradition, it's the place where Muhammad ascended. It's also said to be the place where all fresh water in the world came from. And beneath the foundation stone is a bottomless pit where souls wait to be judged. So,
purgatory.
Not only that, but the foundation stone also is said to have been the spot where the Ten Commandments were read.
Yep. And it's held the Ark of the Covenant at one point or somewhere in time. So, yeah.
This is actually a huge part of the giant biblical fight that goes on over that land, is the fact that the foundation stone is there, and it means so much to both cultures.
Exactly.
Well, and you look at, universal energy, where you've got two cultures worth of people that are all focusing on one object. You're imbuing power in that object.
Yeah. Well, see, the other thing that people don't really think about either is the fact that most of these temples, most of these sites, when Nikki was bringing up Stonehenge, that was the perfect, are built over even older significant sites.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't the first time that these had buildings on them. Some of them all the way back into like 10,000 BC had structure on that site. And there has to be some reason that that particular site holds so much significance for so many people that they continuously rebuild temples on that same site.
Exactly.
Like, I would not be surprised at all, because if you look at some of the Mayan pyramids, they're built over top of already existing pyramids that were there.
From cultures that we know nothing about.
Yes, from cultures that were...
And how many...
Way before
How far down? How many of those, how far down do they go? How many hundreds of feet? How many thousands of feet?
Well, and then you think about the fact that that's just with stone. You think about all of the wood and all of the mud hutting and everything that happened before we moved into masonry.
Exactly.
It would not surprise me at all if almost every significant site around the world was once another significant site.
For somebody else.
For somebody else, for a different culture at some point beforehand.
What?
Totally agreed.
I think there's a few that weren't.
Well, I'm not saying all of them. I would say that there's some that were built.
Like head smashed in buffalo jump, I'm pretty sure it's only for that one kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's certain ones that come off of just because of a series of events that happened there, or one event that happened there, or because some guy decided, hey, that's a really damn nice view of that mountain, and built it there.
Yeah. Okay. And then that's where you wind up with poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Getting back to the warrant.
Lots of energy in the stone from sacrifices.
When you're talking, well, you know, I've been thinking about this, because we laughed about the Warrens, but the Warrens Museum, it's not a catastrophic to the human race, but it's catastrophic to somebody who touches Annabelle, for example, or, you know, whatever other artifact they've got in there.
Right.
Yeah, those are different forms of artifacts.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
Of course.
But it all goes with the same principles, and the same thing, where somebody imbued
whether
something
you believe
into
in Annabelle or not, I sure the fuck wouldn't really want to mess with it.
No, and see, that's the thing, is you can believe in these things, or you can just straight out say you don't, but it doesn't mean it's not going to affect you in some way.
Right. Right.
Because if it is...
But believing in it, or believing in its potential power, actually enhances it.
But I mean, if it is all about whoever created it, or whatever power they imbued, whatever essence they imbued on it, whether it be an evil essence, a good essence, a loving essence, whatever this is, okay, then you're not exactly, you're pretty much powerless to the effects of that.
Yeah.
If that's
Depending
what it is.
Depending on what it is. Robert, do you have any artifacts in Australia that you can think of historically?
There's probably tons, but no one's been around looking for them. Like, I'm pretty sure some of the Aboriginal artifacts, like places like Uluru or up north where they've traipsed still along, probably even some down here and south.
I know somebody who went on an artifact hunt with some archaeologists that were both from the United States and from Australia, and they went on to a site that was not, they were officials, they went on to a site that was not talked about and probably will never be talked about, and I was told about it only because this individual was getting to go. And they were so appalled and shocked that they were being allowed to go, and that they would be contacting me after a week and a half, because it would take them almost that long. They had like a 2 or 3 day turnaround. They would get to be there. It would take them that long just to get there, because it was really far away from civilization. And when they got back, I got to hear all about what they got to see, and then there were things that they said, well, I can't tell you about anymore, but that's what I got to do, got to see, and they were incredibly amazed, awestruck, and were like, I wish the entire public could know about this. And I was like, wow, that is really... And I have searched ever since. Not a word was ever talked about this. And I'm like, why? What did they really find? What did they really, truly find?
I can tell you what they didn't find. Hot food in their theaters.
No shit. No
but
theaters
they had,
up
wait,
in the Tulies
but
of
they had
no
hot
man's
coffee.
land.
Now,
they had hot coffee.
It was fascinating.
When
I'm pretty sure that if you went to some of the places that the Aboriginals were slaughtered at, like in Quigley Down Under, that's pretty much actually what happened. They drove Aboriginals off cliffs, off of mountain tops, all that sort of stuff. I'm pretty sure if you went to those sort of areas, you'd find something like
I'm sure.
Ghosts and spirits and stuff like that.
When I was looking and studying through different artifacts, I did come across one that has a historical significance to Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's actually in the British Museum right now.
Yeah.
Midnight Oil.
And it's under glass because... Okay, so when Captain James Cook on his voyage from Britain to Australia in 1770, he came in contact with the first Aboriginal tribe of Australia at that point. Well, they fired muskets at them, causing them to drop their shields. So there is one shield that was taken and is now in the British Museum that is made of bark and has a couple of holes in it from the musket fire.
Wow.
And it said that if you get too close to the shield, or if you touch the shield, that it will cause you to feel complete sadness and emptiness.
Ew.
That's nasty.
Every day of the week.
No, sadness and emptiness. That could lead to some serious.
Well, it's probably the
that
last
could lead to
feeling
some serious issues.
That Aboriginal
that's scary
warrior was feeling.
Right, and that's what I'm assuming is it would probably how they felt at the time. Like this alien species at that point basically just came and started shooting at them. They had no idea what these weapons were or anything about these people. And they eventually ended up taking over parts of their land and doing horrible fucking things to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was probably the scariest thing that had ever happened to that person
that
at that
shield
point.
imbued the emotion of that particular warrior.
So that is the one artifact that I did find that had any significance or relation to Australia.
I was just curious if Australia had anything. It would have to. But...
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure they were saying, don't touch our bloody big straws, didgeridoos. You're not taking our non-plastic straws.
And you know, there's got to be some items in history that weren't deemed as important at the time, but we haven't found yet.
Oh, yeah. No,
and when we do, they will present some interesting issues.
Like the horseshoe of Joan of Arc.
She was a human. She didn't have horseshoes.
Oh.
You know, and I do have to say that sometimes when you're going through a museum of history, there are certain areas in there where you're just like, you almost get that, like, feeling like there's something, like, the back of the hairs on your back, stand up, and you kind of get,
There's a museum in Alberta called the Frank Slide Interpretive Center. And it's an area where the entire town of Frank was buried under an entire half a mountain. And the interpretive center is on top of the pile of mountain that fell now. And there's a whole trail that you can walk through, and the whole place is actually really sad to walk through, and it gives you like a creepy feeling. But there is one display in there, and it's a trumpet, a trombone, and a tuba. And it was from a band that was playing
when the mountain came down. Yeah.
Wow.
And that one display, as you walk past it, it almost makes you break down in tears. Because they're playing one of the songs that the band would have played.
Ooh. They're adding energy to the
trombone. Yeah. And the whole area is just insane. It's a very cool area. And the mountain that fell is still moving. It's called Turtle Mountain. It moves 1 foot per year.
Turtle Mountain?
So, and this is an area that they thought it would be a great idea to build a bunch of mines around. So there was miners in the ground underneath the mountain.
Good grief.
Yeah, they've moved the town of Frank 10 miles up, so it should be a while before it hits it again.
100 years.
Yeah. Friend.
But there's just those certain displays that, for no real reason,
hit you hard.
They just hit you.
Yeah.
Or And different displays hit different people. So it's some kind of connection that you have to that, or some kind of a feeling that you get from that.
There's some people who walk up to the Mona Lisa and get horny. They're a little weird to me, but hey.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my.
Well, having been in the Alamo a couple of times, and being around some of the muskets that were used at the battle, it does. You do sense, and I always think of it more as it feels like you're walking into history. You're there, and you're trying to imagine yourself. What would I do in this situation? I'm trapped in this building with all these guys, and we're going down. There's nobody coming to get us, and it fascinates me. It just, but you have that feeling that comes over you, like I am literally standing in the steps of someone who died for better or worse, depending on your moral point of view, but for their beliefs, for what they were trying to accomplish.
You look at it that way too. Can you imagine walking the Trail of Tears?
Oh yes, absolutely. That had to be just amazing.
I mean, feeling the emotions from.
I lived that timeline.
The tribes that walked the Trail of Tears.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even imagine.
Right, like there are certain areas that for no damn reason at all, okay? And I mean, they aren't even historic areas or anything like that, but you'll be going along and everything will be fine, you're out on the trails, you're doing something, and then all of a sudden you just kind of get that, like, feeling from certain areas, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it doesn't even have to be of massive historical significance to have that feeling that you get from certain places.
Anyway, we have 8 minutes left. Are we talking UAPs next week?
Mm-hmm.
Next week we are talking the government and the new UFO projects. UAPs, whichever acronym you want to use, UFO, UAP.
UMPs.
UMPs.
I just like letters.
Oh, okay. Oh. I hate them. I really hate them. But, every day in my news feed, I'm getting something new from all these different news sources about, all of a sudden, UFOs. Now we have an Air Force whistleblower that comes out talking about the government's got he was supposedly on a military team that recovered alien craft. I haven't looked into them a whole lot yet.
Well, the thing is, he says he got classified documents and he went to Congress with it. And I'm like, well, doesn't that make you a traitor that you're using classified documents outside of, senators, congressmen are all,
No, I know, you're absolutely right. If they can go after Trump for having classified documents in his house, they go after Biden for having classified documents in his house, and his fucker's got classified documents. You
kind of a little bit suspicious is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just tells you if they haven't gone actually after him, that means what he has is shit.
No, absolutely.
It's like I have a real problem, like Nikki was talking about at the start of the show, about a lady from the CIA who did a TED Talk.
Right.
I have a problem listening to anyone from the CIA, FBI, any of those departments.
Bingo!
They fucking lie for their life. Like, that's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Why would they start telling the truth just because they fucking left the FBI or CIA?
They still have NDA or non-disclosure agreements.
Well,
I don't even care about
20
that.
years.
Well, that's the only thing.
But when it's that ingrained into you to automatically lie, and that's how you make your living, all of a sudden you don't have a living.
I know what you're saying, absolutely.
Friend, screw that shit.
Not only that, but I believe that there are quite a few people out there that do different talks and different things like that to pull attention to them so that we're not looking at what's right in front of us.
Yep.
Bingo.
Yep.
They are there to disrupt the fact that these things are actually happening.
And a cup of coffee. But speaking of coffee, what's Australian coffee like?
Weak.
Did you just say weak? Damn!
I want to try some Australian coffee if you ever seen some.
That was fighting words. Holy shit.
Wow.
I have been told that it is very weak coffee.
Depends if you're using instant or if you're grinding your own beans.
Nobody uses instant. That shit's bullshit.
That's what I said, weak coffee.
Hey, Robert, send us some Australian beans. We can grind them. Send us some Australian coffee beans.
Yeah, ones that have been eaten by a kangaroo, shit out.
No.
Yeah.
Then eaten by a platypus and shit out.
Yeah.
No.
Those are the beans I'm looking for.
And
The
then
double
eaten by
track.
a flaming spider and shit out. So,
You might want to stay away from these because they probably come with a free spider.
exactly. You guys keep them over at your places. I'll be fine.
Send me a cup of coffee that the second I sip it, I say, crikey, that's good.
I think that's going to be fucking cold by the time you get it.
No, you'll say, that's not a knife. This is a knife.
Do you guys... Okay, so I had to ask.
Oh, God.
Okay. At the McDonald's
Yeah.
in Australia, do you
Yeah.
really have water buffalo burgers?
No.
No? Okay. No.
Isn't it
No, they
fucking
got water
amazing?
buffalo.
Isn't it amazing how people will believe anything they see on the fucking internet?
No, I was just saying. I
It was on the
and
internet.
I was
It
like,
must
no
be
fucking
true.
way do they have water buffalo burgers instead of beef burger. So I have to ask, so.
Well, in Iraq they had camel burgers, so why not?
Here they have camel burgers. They just don't tell you it's a camel.
It may be Soylent Green here.
Why do you think Sally the camel only has one hump now?
Oh, and don't forget, check out our sponsor.
ReaperApparelCode.com. Make sure you use the coupon code S-4 Bunker to get 10% off your order, and make sure you do that because we get part of that. So, do it now. Plus, you get some really cool gear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, their hoodies are pretty epic, I will say.
Yeah,
How would you know? You
I
haven't washed
gotta
yours in
say,
2 weeks,
if
so
we
you
have a
haven't worn it.
sponsor, we've actually tried their merchandise before we pass it on to you folks.
Alrighty, guys.
All right, with that, we are done for the night, guys. We will be back next week, next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, have a great week. Enjoy yourselves, and
stay cool.
Yeah. Stay cool.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.